This is maybe Old Salt Gamer. I'm back on my Stationeers Brutal Moon, where I want to stay for a year. So I decided to make this my merchant center. By the way, please subscribe and like. Let's do that at least once. Anyway, not my merchant, but my production area. And there's probably easier ways to do this, but I like to do things my own way, and this is what usually happens. So what I got set up here, I got stackers up here, and I want to, if it's not an ore, I want it to come in here. If it is an ore, then I'm telling it to go to the next printer, so on and so forth. So if I'm printing something, it should go to the stacker. If I'm dumping ores, it should cycle around to the next piece of equipment. So now I've tested this part of it. I haven't tested my next part. So if I pull the lever here, it should send all the ores over here. And it's doing that. So that keeps me from handling ores. And of course, if I wanted to send them to the Autolathe, I just pull this lever and it'll send them over here back to the Autolathe. And this took a while to do, but I finally got it to work, and I'll show you the program for that. So now I got everything into the Autolathe, but I actually wanted to come into the printer just to test this stuff. We'll do that. I'll close that. So let's look at that program real quick. Oops. IT area back here. That's this one here. Notice I got sorter control. So I better turn that off. So let's import that. This is a pretty simple program, actually. It's only 20 lines. So I have all the aliases up here. Let me separate that, make it a little easier to read. And I checked the Autolathe, the e-printer, the pipe bender, and then the 3 sorters. And I just got them labeled sorter 1, 2, and 3. Autolathe is 1, e-printers 2. Just easier for me. And then I set sorter modes to 2, which means I'm going to control it from the IC chip. And then very simply, I just look at D0, which is the Autolathe. Is it open? If it's open, then set equal to R0, R00. It checks if it's 0 or 1. And if it is 1, then I set D1, well, if it's 1 or 0, I set D1, which is the sorter, to output equivalent to that. And I do that for all 3 of them. Now what does this do? Say, if it's closed, it's going to be 0. And I'm setting R0, R00. So if it is 0, then it's true. So it sends everything into the accept file, which is to say it is sorted into the stacker. I hope that makes sense. If it's open, then it's not going to equal 0. It's going to be set to 0, and that rejects it into the one sorter into the next piece of machinery. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense. But it's a very simple program. I did have to experiment with this a little bit. I mean, I did like 16 different methods of doing this, and I'm like, wow, this is the easiest. So all I do in this program is basically, if this is closed or if it's open, so this will be 1 because it's open. If it's 1, I'm telling it don't send it to the sorter or to the stacker, send it straight through this sorter into the next piece of machinery. If it's closed, then that means I don't want it to go to the next piece of machinery. I want it to go straight through into the stacker. It works really well. Since I wrote that program, I have not had any problems with it, but you know how that goes. Sorry, I'm trying to stay a little neater in this one. I think I got basics right there. Yep. Now, that part is finished and tested, and it seems to work pretty well. So, turn that back on. Now, this part I have not tested. Matter of fact, you'll see I haven't even set the pins yet. But I wanted to test this live just to show how debugging is kind of a pain sometimes. Maybe this will work the first time. I seriously doubt it. But again, here I'm checking the stackers 1, 2, and 3, and I'm checking each Autolathe, the e-printer, and the pipe bender. So here I'm reading stacker 1, stacker 2, and stacker 3, the setting, which I believe, and I'm going to run back and forth on the setting, is this, I believe. I haven't checked that yet. I'm pretty sure that's correct. In other words, right here the setting is 3. Oh, I'm sorry. The setting is 221. And then I could set this down to 1. And now the setting's 1. Why do I read that? So I read all those. And then I look, is Autolathe activated? Or is the e-printer activated? Is the pipe bender activated? Now, I haven't tested the shed either. But I think when you hit this button, that's the activate button. So as soon as I hit that button, it's going to say yes, the pipe bender is activated. If it's not activated, okay, I'm reading R4 and R5 and R6 to see if they're activated. If it's equal to 1, in other words, if it's activated, then go to the respective branch. So if the Autolathe is activated, it comes down here. If it's not activated, it'll check the other two. If none of them are activated, it'll jump back to start. So let's say the lathe, I hit the activate button on the lathe, then it's going to read stacker 1 import count. I do have to put a clear memory in here. I'll have to do that yet. Anyway, I got sidetracked. I have to clear the memory after each event, or else the import count won't reset. So we'll do that. So anyway, set R10 to the import count. In other words, how many things have been put into the stacker. If R10 is less than R0, which is the stacker setting, so if I have 10 and it's at 1, then I'm going to go back to lathe and loop until R10 is no longer less than 0. So that'll keep looping until it's done. Then I'll set the Autolathe activate to 0. So it should turn the activate button off. And again, I haven't tested any of this. And I do the same for all 3 of them. Now, clear memory. So when we go back to start, I have to put 3 lines in here, and I have to see the format of this. I think it's save, and I'll do it for all 3 of them. Stacker 1. Logic type, and I think it's clear memory. Yep, 1. I think you just put 1 there, and that tells it, yeah, clear the memory. Now that'll reset the import count on each one back to 0, so I can continue to do this. I'm just going to copy that, paste it 3 times. 1, 3. Now I think that is the correct format for that, and I could double check that. By the way, I usually pause this while I'm programming, but I'm going to be here for a year, so I let it run. Let's confirm. No, I could just do this. Can I have I think I got that called out. Clear memory. When set to 1, clears the counter of the memory. Yep, okay. So that should work. So confirm that. Let's test this together and see how much of a, well, I have to set the pins yet, but oops, export. Export, don't screw that up. Alright, so we'll get the error. And whoops. Alright, so stacker 1. Oh, I should just go backwards here, probably be quicker. Yeah, well. Stacker 1. Autolathe, active event. Autolathe. Stacker 2. Did I do that right? I did not. Stacker 1. Stacker 2. E-printer, so that's going to be a little bit of clicking. Electronics printer. Stacker 3, that'll be easy. And pipe bender, so probably backwards. In case you don't know, you go backwards by hitting the C key while you're clicking. Hydraulic pipe bender. Okay, so those are all set. Let's see if I get any errors. Hey, no errors. That's a good first step. Alright, so I got this in here, so let's set this for 1, it is. And let's do quit. If this all works. I've already cleared the memory because it ran through it once. If I activate it, okay, so it's a little slow. I get 2, so it worked. There's a delay. Less than 1. I could try equal, but that's, then if it goes past it, it'll run forever. R10, let's try that. This might be a little bit of a lag, so I'll have to play with this. Let's try equal instead of less than. So now I'm saying if the import count is equal.
Hunger caution.
Well, that's what happens when you're stationary brutal mode, but I'm still eating potatoes. Put one in there, turn that on. Close that, turn that. I'm gonna have these interruptions because, like I said, I've been letting it run. And you can see I don't know what was up with my air conditioner last time, but it is keeping it at the perfect temperature here. The end of the last video, it seemed to have some kind of glitch in it. But when I reloaded it, it's keeping it perfectly at 22 in here, so I did that little adventure. Alright, so I got 2 cables. Now I've been playing with the other settings. I'll have cables coming out my ears here pretty soon. Alright, so now I got it set to equal. Let's see if that fixed that problem. So the import count is what it's going to be. By the time this reads the output that goes through all this piping, 1 behind. I don't like it. It's going too fast. The autolathe is going too fast, or the printer is going too fast. By the time it comes down here and reads, it's already started its second print. And interesting. How do I fix that? I can deactivate it and activate it after every one, but that might... Yeah, I could try that again. So just put it in here, see if it works. So if it's activated, it'll go to printer. So the first thing I want to do is set printer. No, oh, ePrint. Sorry, ePrint. To 0. So I deactivate it real quick. How am I going to do that? Because I deactivated it. Check the import count. But when I go back to printer, how am I going to activate it? Interesting. This is kind of debugging things you got. So now I'm getting one extra. I could... No. I could stick a yield in here. Boy, that's really going to make stuff slow, but let's try it. Why not? I don't sit there for one tick. I don't know if that's a good spot for that. And then come down here. This is interesting. Let me think about this for a second. I'll pause it while I try and work this out. I'll be right back. But I think I had a working method. I don't really like it, but turn it off after I turned it off so fast there it didn't print. So that is not going to work. Not if I hit the button and every once in a while it doesn't print like that. What I did here, but I activated it, yielded, and then deactivated. But even the yield sometimes doesn't let it complete a cycle, so I don't like that. So I'm going to get rid of that. That did kind of work. So, let's try. Let's try I or R12. Load. No, let's do subtract. What's the setting for the e-printer is R1. Subtract. And call this R12. R1 1. So does that subtract A minus B. A, which is R1, minus B, which is 1. Okay, so now I'm subtracting R1, and then I can say set R zero. So I'm saying if R12 equals 0, then to make this 1, then actually I want the other number, because if that's going to be true, then it's going to set to 1. So you could do that by putting set, but it was a not equal to. It's not. And of course, and there, no, what is it? There it is. Otherwise 0. So that sets it to the opposite number. So this should be set to Z. So if it does equal 1, I want it to read 0. And then I can do, say, print activate R12. Now this is crazy. This just might not work, or it might just actually work. So what I'm doing here now is I'm checking first to see if R12, or R1 is 1, I'm subtracting 1 from it, 0. I don't know. I don't know if that'll work or not. I kind of doubt it. Export. Let's see what happens. Uh-oh, I didn't like it. Something wrong with line 34. 34. R12. Oh, I can only do one number. So now that's going to come back. It's going to switch it from 1 to 0, I think. Equals 0. Okay, so but, is that all I need? That's all I need. No. R12. Okay. So it's going to change it to, if it's a 0, 1, it's going to be 0. If it's a 0, it's going to be 1. Okay. That should work. I think. Okay, it likes that at least. Alright. Now, let's see what happens here. Nope. Too much. Too fast. Too fast. Alright. Because if it's 1, it's going to immediately turn it back. And printer. This is tricky. I'm going to have to keep thinking about this. I'll be back. Rarely, at least, I think I figured this out. So, let's control it at the source. Instead of looking at the stacker, let's look at the export count of the piece of equipment I'm using. So, I'm loading Autolathe export count and using that to decide whether to go to it. And I went to less than. So this will be not stacker 2, but T-bender. And X. Boy, I have that. Okay, now this did work once with the printer. Let's export that. Did I change that to less than? Yes. So now I got this set to 1. I hit that, and it does 1. So let's set this to 2. Look at that. This picture gave me 2. Excellent. 2. So it is working. Now, let's try something. Well, I don't think there is anything more complicated, so let's sending all this here. Let's test this one. Do a shoot. Iron. Just mined a ton of iron, by the way. Set this to 1. Perfect. Perfect. Set it to 2. Excellent. So there we go. Now I can set the stacker to something that I want. Like right now I could do, I'd have to clear all this back out, so I may automate this process too. But I haven't done that yet. I'm one step at a time here. It's nice to be able to take your time with things, because I know I'm going to be here for a year. And I'm on day 46. So let's do heavy coils. Do I have enough? Yeah, I do. So, How many do I have? So let's do 37. Set this for 37. This button. And this should keep running, theoretically, until this export count reaches 37. Let's clean up some of this mess here. Oh, I got too many. Hope I don't need 30. Oh no, I do need 37 of them. Alright, so let's drop those. Those in my hand. Put those there. So I'm at 6, so it's going to take a little while. Take these over here. But I think I got that working. It's always kind of a pretty cool feeling when you get these things to work. And as you can see, I still got plenty of power. Even with everything running. I got to start being careful because I am running a lot of stuff now. I may have to switch everything out with heavy cables rather than using different transformers and stuff. Because if this is my IC section, my IT section, then I'm going to have connection to everything, and the only way I can do that is go with heavy cables. Because I don't want to separate stuff. I'm up to 16. This looks like it's going to work though. And again, I'll show you that code one more time just in case you didn't see it. So it's only 42 lines. And now, of course, I'm clearing the memory not of the stackers, but of the Autolathe printer and pipe bender. I have to clear that after every loop when it's done, I should say. So right now I'm using the printer. I'm checking the export count. If it's less than the setting of the stacker, go back to printer until it's no longer less than the setting of the stacker, and then it shuts it down. Kind of cool. And I'm up to 29. I don't know why I'm waiting, because I'm almost certain this is going to work. Almost. So there we go. My machinery section is all set up to be automated. All I have to do is, well, not quite as automated as I want it to be. What I want to do is have it automatically set all these to open. Can't do that because then the horse will be continuously looping. But I could, like, there it goes. And I got 37. Yay. But if, say I wanted to use the printer, I could close this one and it would say, hey, he closed that one, open both the other ones. That would be pretty easy to do, actually. If one is closed that I want to use, open the other one, so it would automatically move all the ores here. And then if I closed another one, it would open this one. Pretty easy to do, I think. But there we go. So tell me what you think. I like it. It worked. I have a good room. I've got to set up trading because all I'm eating is potatoes. Now there's nothing wrong with that, but it makes me eat and drink a lot. And then 22 liters of water. I need to set up a tank. I got more than 10 of these now, so I have 2 stacks, which is kind of annoying. What kind of tank can I put in here? Since this isn't automated, I want to close that one. Open that one. And then I want to look at, let's do a utility. They have bigger ones now. I don't know how much they help. Wait for the iron to get there. Liquid utility. 1. Oop. 1. I can walk away and do other things here once I'm comfortable with this. Perfect. Look at that. I love it. Oh, actually, I probably need more than one of these, don't I? That's the biggest one you have. I think I need 2 more pipe kits. Alright, let's go seeds 2. So I did turn this into my machinery room. Some people suggested I do this as a gas room. Not a bad idea, actually. But this just fit in here really nice. Lots of chutes. Probably the extra. This works. Doesn't look terrible. I mean, I've seen worse. I could enclose this and hide everything, as a matter of fact. That's probably not a bad idea. Walls here and just enclose all of it. You wouldn't see any of this stuff. So let's do that one. I guess I could just put it. I guess I could put it here. That's pretty much out of the way. Yeah. Alright, so let's put that there. Let's take. I got 1 water pipe. Oop, I need to insulate it. Which is a good idea because it's a little cooler than the room. And drinking cool water is nice. Alright, so let's go. Oh, well, I might need 1 more of these. Insulated water, insulated pipe, shouldn't I have? Uh-oh, did I miss it? There it is. Oh, not 12. 1. Should come pretty fast. Now this I've never done before. I've seen other people do this kind of setup where you can set the stacker to the right number. I saw lengthy, horrifying programs. I'm thinking that I like to keep things simple, even if I have to use a separate IC chip. I like to keep things simple. And I think 42 lines to do that for all 3 of the machinery is actually pretty good. And that should be set up. Now, what do I got in here? 25 liters. So I do have some water in my... Like I said, I've been going through some water. I usually keep 1 in my hand just in case. When I go out mining, I grab 1. And I think that's over here. It's always running. Oof. Not the best spot for it, but it works. I can't hear out here, but that should be running. Just venting the nitrogen because I really don't need it right now. If I need anything, it's CO2. I don't need to do anything. So that should be filling this up slowly. 25. Unless it only holds 25, 26.5. There we go. So that just gives us a little bit more room to absorb. Now, remember I said I have this plant slot here. There is an achievement for killing a potato plant. Don't ask me why. Now, I don't know. It says they use water. I don't know if they actually do. So what I'll probably do is disconnect this, put the pipe over here, pipe the water out of it. But I'm going to kill a potato plant because I'm like, how can I not have that achievement after more than 4,000 hours on this game? I cannot believe I never killed a potato plant. Maybe these I still got in here. 7. I make these too fast. I cut it down to 1 plant because they start rotting in there. You know, not really rotting, but they get old. But I don't want to make them faster than I'm eating them at this point. Water while I'm here. That's always a constant nag. Let's see what we got here. Yeah, okay, so it's cool. I could always add another one over here too, but expand. So there you go. I think that's it for today. Tell me what you think. Remember to subscribe and like. Power's good. I like that this is all automated. What? One more thing. Let's see if I can beautify this a little bit. What's this? I got lots of iron, but I just did. It would be so easy. I'm going to do that next. If I close this one, open the other two, send the ores here, so I don't have to move around. I'll do that next. Come on, iron. Alright, so let's do how many? Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10 iron walls. Oop. I haven't tested this one yet, so probably should test it anyway, just to make sure I didn't fat finger something in this section of the line. Look at that. That's so cool. I'm sorry, that just... 2, 3, 4, 5, and then see if I can put one down. This one might be above the top. There we go. 2, 3, 4, 5. Sheets. 10 of those. I probably have some of those in the locker, but what the heck. That's what's gonna give me a good feeling every time I use that for a while. That kind of dresses that up. I can paint it. That kind of dresses it up. Doesn't look so bulky. Alright. Maybe old Soul Gamer. Tell me what you think. Like I said, this is pretty cool. I like this. I probably would share this on my library, but you would have to set this up like I have this set up. You basically just route all of them into the either the straight through to the next piece of machinery or to this sorter. It's not that hard to figure out, but this won't work correctly if you don't have this set up the same. So you saw how it was set up. Tell me what you're thinking of. Maybe old Soul Gamer, you have a good day.